Cheers, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Honky Tonk Tuesday. How's everybody doing? How's y'all's weekend? Hope everybody's been safe. I see we got people from Ohio on here. Cheers to Ohio and to everywhere watching. Excited to have my buddy Wade Hayes as a guest on here tonight. I've been fortunate to play a couple events in town and get to know Wade. And his story is inspiring and incredible and full of hits. And excited to have him on here. But before we bring him on, how's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? Everybody staying safe? Everybody tired? Staying home and ready to get back to life and concerts? Because I am. London, what's up? Chicago, our Cubs are looking good, unless you're White Sox. Alicia, Indiana, Minnesota, Salt Lake City. We got them from all over Tupelo, upstate New York. That's what I'm talking about. We're one big family here on a Tuesday night. And anyway, wherever y'all are watching from, hope y'all are staying safe and hope you're with your loved ones. And we're going to bring you some good music. So welcome to Honky Tonk Tuesday, my buddy, Mr. Wade Hayes. Come on.
How's it going, man?
What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
I couldn't be better. It's a beautiful evening here in Tennessee.
Awesome. Are you see?
Do what now?
Are you in Tennessee right now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I moved just outside of Nashville, just east of Nashville, a little town called Lebanon. I lived in the area for about 20 years, and the traffic got so crazy, I couldn't take it anymore. So I moved out east. So
it's getting that bad everywhere here, I believe.
Yeah. This town has exploded.
It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. You came to town. I was reading, came to town because your dad, Don, right? Moved in when you were 11, right?
Yeah. When we were kids, my dad had gotten a record deal on an indie label and moved the family here, and things didn't work out for him. And so we ended up moving back to Oklahoma and kind of starting all over again. And then, of course, I was bitten by the bug, and I just couldn't let it be. And when I got old enough, I'd been through 4 years of college, and I knew I wasn't satisfied. I'd finally figured out that I was just throwing money away. That wasn't for me. And decided to move to Nashville, and I figured I could just sleep in my truck if I needed to. And God was watching out for me. I got the job immediately, and just one thing led to another, and it happened very, very quickly once I got here.
That's so awesome. So it is tough. I come from a family of musicians as well. My family had a band.
I'm going to ask you about that. What was your family band situation? Tell me.
Yeah, so my dad sang lead, my grandfather played lead, my uncle played bass, and my cousin played drums, and two other cousins sang harmony. And so it's like a redneck partridge family around Florida, man. They toured around Florida, and so that's what my grandfather is, who introduced country music to all of my family. He got out of the Army and just loved country music, man, and taught all that generation growing up harmonies, and put instruments in all their hands. And later on, that would form the family band, and then later on, I would come along and kind of do what you did. My dad was singing lead. I think my dad went to Nashville a couple times to see what he could get started, but by that point, he had 3 or 4 kids, and it's just tougher, to get things going with that situation. So, but they made sure that we had guitars around us and guitars in our hands. We were growing up, so now he just jumps on the bus and uses all my Southwest points.
I knew you were a traditional country music fan, and I wondered where you got that at, because you've got the very edgy look. You're a very hip looking fella, and
thank you. I try.
No, man, but you still have a love for traditional country music, and that's cool, man. That's
what I was raised on, man, and that's what I realized when I was in middle school that other people were trading Green Day records, and I was trying to get people to listen to Earl Thomas Conley's greatest hits. I knew that I was probably raised on something different, but it was just what my family did, like with your dad would die, it was just around us, man. It's what I loved, I didn't know when I learned Green Green Grass at Home from Puerto Rico's version. It was about a guy on death row, asleep, waking up to get murdered. I didn't know that at 10. I just knew that I grew up with my family playing it, so that's what I wanted to learn how to play, and I loved it. So I feel very fortunate now, but yeah,
so familiar. Mine was the similar situation, but it was with the cheating and drinking songs. You know, I was 5 years old and, you know, didn't understand why my dad wouldn't let me sing, you know, Gary Stewart cheating tunes or whatever. You know, just I didn't know what they were about. I just loved them. I loved the music. Yeah, it's not really cool.
Stories.
Yeah,
those stories, man, back in the day, those story songs were just the writing back then was just different, man. It was
yeah. The closest
thing
I've heard lately is that an Ashley McBryde tune I heard the other day that was very, very similar.
Yeah,
to that.
Yeah. Ashley's on our label. She's on Warner with me, man. I'm a big fan of Ashley. She's a badass, man. She's a traditionalist too that can play. She just has that voice, man, that you just hear sitting. She could sit on a bar stool, get an acoustic guitar, and you just sit and listen.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with a lot of her stuff, but I did hear a tune of hers on the radio the other day, and I thought that is a throwback. You know, the subject, but it really reminded me of a time earlier. But I was going to tell you, there's a tune of yours that I'd heard it on the radio, Her World, and I love that.
Thank you, man.
I freaking love that record.
Thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
It's one of my favorite things I've heard. And honest, I was saying that to my wife the other day before I even knew we were doing this.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I dig it. You did a good job on it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I want to ask you what it was like now, because we both kind of share the fact that our family had a band. Our dad was singers. Our dads, you know, wanted to find their path into music. Now my dad says he thinks his path was just helping me set up my path. That's what he says. But I know what it was like for me to be able to call my dad and say that, hey man, we got the record deal.
Yeah.
Hey, we actually got a shot at this. And then my first single, Kiss You in the Morning, and your first single, Old Enough No Better, both went #1 as first singles, which is an elite group that we get to be in, which is really cool. So we share those moments of being able to see a family that loved country music to all of a sudden be in the ball game. How was that for you?
It was a very, very big deal. And I'm sure, like you, I had a lot of family members that were singers and they were really, really into the whole music scene, not just my dad, and a whole bunch of family. And for them to get to experience that and somebody, you know, actually turn on the radio and hear a hit song from one of their family members, it's a big deal.
It's awesome, man. Nothing better, man. There's nothing better.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time I heard my song on the radio. I had just landed in Oklahoma. I had just gotten off a radio tour. I know you know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
And this was a long, long time ago. And I had just landed and my parents came to pick me up and I heard Old Enough to Know Better on the radio, and they were saying this is going to be a big hit from this Oklahoma artist. And I just landed.
That's when your blood gets boiling when the radio says it. You're like, okay, we might have something here. Yeah.
Yeah. I had my parents take me by the radio station on their way home just so I could thank them personally. It was that big of a deal. And awesome, man. It was a thrill. And and just still to this day, just feel so fortunate to have gotten to experience this and play music for a living. Yeah,
man. I mean, you've had an incredible ride and journey, and I know we got a lot of fans that want to hear something. So, is there what do we start off with, man? I'll throw it to you.
Man, let's see. I will be glad to do.
I have a request for later, but I'm holding off.
Okay.
Because there's a song of yours that was our jam in high school, and it's not one you're not gonna guess it. But it was when we were out, we had to play this Wade Hayes song. Of course, it was at a certain time of the night where we all had arms around each other, thinking we're Alabama. But
I love it. Well, I can't wait to hear this. I might do. This is the last album I did. This is a new song. The album hadn't been out that long, but this is the title track off of it. And I wrote this about this old dog I had for a very long time. And you know, this year has been very, very difficult year for everybody for many different reasons. But I ended up losing this old dog this year.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
through a whole bunch of stuff, but this was the title track. I wrote this before he passed. Just anyway, a lot of people like this tune, and it's called "Who Saved Who." It's
Awesome.
about a stray dog. When I first met him, he was digging through the trash. All night filling station, he was looking for some scraps, and he was frail. Like it'd been a while alone. He came to the truck, he jumped right in the front seat. He had a half-eaten pizza crust clamped in his crooked teeth, and he smiled like he was finally home. And he's been with me through hell and back again, and I know it's often said, but he has been my best friend. You call him a rescue, but I'm not sure that's true. 'Cause there's times I wonder who saved who. At first it was trying, 'cause he was still a pup. There's no telling how much furniture and shoes that he chewed up, but it was worth it. We got through that first year, 'cause for dang near a decade, he's been a constant in my life, and he helped pull me through what were my darkest times. And I know I'm sure thankful he was here. He's been with me through hell and back again, and I know it's often said, but he has been my best friend. You call him a rescue, but I'm not sure that's true. 'Cause there's times I wonder who saved who. All the roads we've ridden, all the miles that we've walked, and everything he's seen and heard, I'm sure glad he can't talk. I just hope and pray that he can stay at least another 10, 'cause I know I'm nowhere strong enough for life without him. 'Cause he's been with me through hell and back again, and I know it's often said, but that dog, he was my best friend. You call him a rescue, but I'm not sure that's true. 'Cause there's times I wonder who saved who. Oh, Jack, I think I know just who saved who.
Wow. Wow. Hey, here's to Jack.
Hey, man, he was a good old boy. I still think about him every day. That dog made me laugh every day.
Man, that makes me think of my dad and my stepmom. They had to put their dog down that they had since a puppy. I want to say earlier this year, the end of last year, and they live out in the country in Florida. So my dad, built a big cross out there and gave her a proper burial and everything. And there ain't nothing better than a good dog, man. There ain't nothing better than a good dog. I had one for a while, and because of being on the road and she got too big, she stays with a friend of mine. But But man, she was there for me in a hard time, man. That's a great song, man. I know a lot of people are gonna be hugging their dogs tonight.
People do, man. You got to get. That's the only place on earth you find unconditional love, and that's
it, man. That's it. So take us to your first record. You have Old Enough to Know Better, #1. You also scored 3 top 10s, correct, off that first album. After that, Don't Stop, I Should Be Dancing with You.
What I'm going to say was
yes.
There were 4, I guess 4. Yeah, there, and all the charts are different, but the Dancing went #1 in a couple of charts too, but just wasn't Billboard. But
okay.
There was Old Enough, Dancing, What I Meant to Say, Don't Stop, and those were the 4 top 5s off of that.
Now I'm always curious because you being music being in your life before, and were these songs that you had before the record deal? Were any of them that you had that you were like, I know this is something if I just can get my foot in?
Man, there was only one that I had started writing in Oklahoma, and I finished it with my mentor and songwriting mentor, Chick Raines. I learned an awful lot from that fella, and he moved back to Oklahoma. He's in Oklahoma now, but he was here, and he's written many, many incredible hit songs, and one of the best lyricists I've ever met in my life. But he's the one I wrote all those first hits with, and I had Still Dancing with You started, had a verse and a chorus to it, and most of a chorus, and that's one that it fell together really quickly, and we thought that song would probably do something. And then when we wrote Old Enough to Know Better, the second we cut that song, we were high-fiving in the studio and running around like chickens with our
heads. Man, I could just imagine. Oh man, because all of us are trying to write an Old Enough to Know Better. So we're all trying to get something like that, man. That's what we're all shooting for.
The true life stuff, that song, I grew up, my dad was a contractor, and I grew up building houses with him. So naturally, when I moved to Nashville, got a job building houses. So,
right.
So I'm doing that. I'm swinging a hammer, and I got a job shortly after that playing lead guitar for Johnny Lee. Do you remember Johnny Lee?
Oh yeah, very well. Yep.
We're still big buddies too, and I love that man. But anyway, Johnny would get wound up and want to play till 3 o'clock in the morning every night. And I still had to be at work, So,
right.
So that's kind of where Old Enough to Know Better kind of got the feel for that song, and a lot of people identified with that.
Oh yeah, man. I remember being a kid jamming in that song. That's one of those songs that will last time, man. That song will be played on Broadway. It's a summer anthem for anybody hitting their having to enter the adult world of life.
I appreciate that. I saw Dierks Bentley like with a wig on singing that song one night.
Oh yeah, then Hot Country Nights.
Crack me up, man. The 90s country was a thing, man. There was some magic made in that era. So.
There was, man. I've been able to be fortunate enough to be able to hang with a lot of you guys and get to know y'all and play shows with you guys, and I always ask the questions about back in those times when you waited for that record. I mean, now obviously everything changes. Music changes, business changes, life changes, everything evolves. It gets crazy, gets better, however way you look at it. But y'all were in the time where for me, I started learning how to play guitar, and my dad was taking me to Walmart or FYE at the time every Tuesday, to get those records. And then you'd buy, you listen to that entire album, you look, and that's how I learned about songwriters. I was like, who are these little names below the song, or below the artist? And I had no idea that they were songwriters. Yeah. And so for you guys in that time, when you were writing, did y'all go into like, okay, we know we got these singles, like for instance, like I'm Still Dancing with You. You probably felt like this is going to be a single. How important in those times was it to make sure that full body of art was a full album, that you had just not the fillers in? You did y'all, how much time did it take to record those albums back in the day, because it was such an album driven market?
I will say, when you're a new artist, you've got a very low budget.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously the scale increases as you develop success. They give you more money back in those days. So, man, we recorded Old Enough to Know Better extremely quickly. We had together, and I wasn't thinking about really filler, or I was such a young guy too. I didn't know anything about anything, and all I knew was I loved country music, and I knew what I wanted to sound like, and that's all I knew.
That's great.
So I just found, and with the help of Don Cook, my producer, and Chick Raines, he was the associate producer.
And you met Don through Chick, right? Chick introduced you to Don.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. I just, you know, we just found the best songs that we could, and they were a lot of in-house stuff, you know, all with Sony Record and Sony Publishing. And me being the new kid on the block, that's what I got. And if you weren't writing them or weren't hanging with the writers, you know, you had a little shot of getting a good outside tune. Right. Well, we were very fortunate to have written those tunes to get the ball rolling.
Well, I think we might have started a request line with "I'm Still Dancing with You" after all this talk on here.
I'm glad to do whatever anybody wants to do.
I think we need some. I think we need some of it. I'm saying, if not, we're going to make a lot of people angry. There's a lot of people asking for it. So
no, I'm glad to. I still remember plain as day starting that song. I wrote that on a buddy of mine's couch in Hera, Oklahoma. Started it.
And you started it by yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And it just started flowing, and it just came out. And I shut it down about that time. I was about to move to Nashville, and I had it written down in a folder. And Chick and I had been writing for a while, and we were, you know, looking for something else to write, an idea or something. And I was flipping through my notes, and I said, "Hey, here's this. I totally forgot about it." And I played it for him, and he said, "Why the hell haven't you played that before?" Right. So we spent about hour and a half finishing the song up, and it was ready to go. So thank you very much for whoever asked for that. I'd be glad to do it.
Awesome.
I'm sitting here surrounded by people I know. The beer is cold and the music's good and loud. That used to be enough to put a smile on my face, but tonight I just feel lost in this crowd. There's a burning on the dance floor. It's my time or two. So I got up and asked her for a dance. When she put her arms around me and I held her, I knew it was just too soon to take another chance. 'Cause I'm still dancing with you. I know we said we were through, and I keep holding on. Letting go is just too hard to do. Even when I'm holding something new, I'm still dancing with you. When the song was over, I held on a little longer. Deep inside I knew it was wrong. I could hold her in my arms for the rest of the night. I just be leaving her home. 'Cause I'm still dancing with you. I know we said we were through, but I keep holding on. Letting go is just too hard to do. Even when I'm holding someone new, I'm still dancing with you. Even when I'm holding someone new, I'm still dancing with you.
Yeah, man, that's country music right there, buddy.
Hey,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Yeah, I was trying to hold off and keep it quiet and not make the ugly face on the first chorus, you know, when you got to reach those notes. And screw it, man. You got to reach out for it and strain a little bit to get those.
You got to reach up for them. You got to just make those ugly, strange faces. You hit all those notes. That made sense at the time of cutting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you go to sing that live and you go, who the hell decided to make this high?
Oh yeah.
Man, so you're such a great guitar player, and you've played. A lot of people might not know this about you, but you were saying earlier with Johnny Lee, but you've also played lead guitar for quite a few country artists.
Man, I tell you what, when I moved to Nashville, that's honestly what I wanted to do. And I'm not a great player. Yeah, I'm not a great player by any means, but I am pretty studious. I mean,
I'm gonna say you're a pretty great player.
I examine records and try to get the exact tone and, you know, as close as I can and play it note for note and sing harmony, which I thought that was probably what I was best at, was harmony singer.
Okay.
And I didn't see myself really as the main dude. I wanted to be the side dude, like the right-hand man. That was my dream.
Did you want to write songs while doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just, oddly enough, just worked out the way it did, and ended up writing a couple of tunes that put me in the other, you know, going down another path. But I played guitar. I took a year or two off my stuff, and I went out and played guitar for Randy Owen.
Yep, lead singer of Alabama.
Yes, he did a solo project, and that was one of the most fun things I've ever done. I love him and his family. They treated me like gold.
They're the best, man. I love Randy.
And I really, really enjoyed and treasured that time in my life, and I learned a lot, and I learned how to love music again. I was kind of at a spot in my career where I wasn't writing a lot, and I really needed something, and it was an awesome time, and I was very proud and honored to get to do it.
Were you how good did it have to feel? Because you and I both know this. Like you just said, it when it's your thing and you're going through it, sometimes the weight of the road, the weight of the charts, the weight of the shows, you know, your family life, you got all this stuff going on. You got all these people, you got all, you know, and everything's always on your shoulders, and you're always kind of feeling like some days you feel like you're there, but some days you're just trying to play catch up, you know. So how did you have to feel going from being that guy to being like, hey, Randy, I'm set up, man. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over here.
I got all of the fulfillment of playing great music.
Yep.
Without any of the responsibility.
That's awesome, man.
It was awesome. And when it was time to go back and do my stuff, I was ready. I was recharged, and I was ready to write. And
that's so important, man.
And it was an awesome time, and I felt so honored to be asked to do that.
I got to see y'all at the barn in Sanford, Florida.
Yeah.
When y'all went through there, when he was doing his solo thing, I was at that show. Yeah, one of them. You might have played there quite a few times, but
gosh,
I think there was something with K92.3, the radio station. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say, if I remember right, I could be wrong, but
Now, what hometown are you from in Florida?
I'm originally from Eustis, Florida, Lake County. So,
Oh,
the south of Ocala,
yeah, yeah. I
Leesburg,
love
area.
it.
Yeah,
There are a
yeah.
lot. There are a lot of good redneck folks there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm related to most of them.
Yeah, my people, man. They're, when you're young, you kind of equate Florida with all just coastal and even Miami scene, which it couldn't be further from the truth. That
We're
Miami
from Central.
and then Upper Florida. There's some beautiful ranches there, and
Oh yeah,
I love it. I love to go to Florida.
yeah. All my family, they're all back home. They're watching. They're watching right now, back at the house. So everybody's down there. Down still in the same area I grew up in. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But so and speaking of Eustace, now I'm gonna take 1 second for my request. So and I've been doing some research, and I've noticed that there's actually 2 titles to this song.
Okay.
We called it In a Chevy.
Oh yeah.
But it says The Day She Left Tulsa.
Yeah. On the set list, it is called In a Chevy.
Is it?
The title on the record is
right,
called,
boys. Any of my buddies watching, we were right. We were right.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that song, I did not write that song. Steve Diamond wrote that song. And I have to say, is one of the most intelligent tunes I've ever heard.
That song, man.
Yeah.
Arm in arm every night. That's how. Yeah. I mean, it literally, Wade, was it was just that song for us, man. You know how those songs just grab your summer, grab your whatever, and that song still to this day, man. I was listening to a bunch of your stuff this morning, and that song came across, and I was like, oh my God, man, we jammed this song. I mean, I don't know how many times a night, but at least 3 nights a week.
Well, you're right. I did not expect you to say that tune. I thought you were going to say On a Good Night or one of the rock tunes, or even an obscure one like Don't Make Me Come to Tulsa. I kind of thought that was going to be it, because that's an obscure tune that's a rocker that people.
You're not going to get this one, but this was, I don't know what it was, man. Besides, it's an incredibly written song, and literally, Michael Wallace just said one of the best country songs ever. So we got a lot of people that are big fans of it, man, and a lot of people that probably sang it loud and not as good as you real late at night around a bonfire.
Well, I would be glad to do In a Chevy, aka
awesome,
The Day She Left Tulsa. We need a fiddle player here now. We were half a mile high on Ferris wheel at our old county fair. I didn't even know we had trouble. She told me we up there. That's when my life started spinning around. My world came crashing to the ground. The day that she left Tulsa. In her Chevy and hurrying and pulling down lane, where the caution lights flashing in the passing lane. From a bridge I watched our dreams going down the drain. In her Chevy and hurrying and pulling out rain. She wasn't sure yet, but she baby like Christmas time. And out there like a fool, I took for granted it was mine. She never came out and told me that I was wrong. But all of a sudden the light came on. The day that she left Tulsa. In her Chevy and hurrying and pulling down lane, where the caution lights flashing and flashing. From a bridge I watched our dreams going down the drain. In her Chevy and hurrying and pulling down rain. Yeah, she thought the truth would end up driving me away. But she was wrong, but I never had the chance to say the day that she left Tulsa in a Chevy and hurrying to pour down. In a Chevy and hurrying to pouring down rain. In a Chevy and hurrying to pouring down rain, where the caution lights flashing and Vaseline. From the bridge I watched our dreams go down train. In a Chevy and hurrying to pouring down rain. In a Chevy and hurrying to pouring down rain. In a Chevy and hurrying to pouring down the rain.
Yes.
All right, something like that.
Dude, if 16-year-old me knew this moment later on would happen, this is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, man. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for being on here with me, man. I really appreciate it a lot.
I've had a blast, and I wish you, sincerely wish you the best of luck. I like your voice, and I like where you're coming from, and please know, as sincere as I can be, I wishing you the very best.
Oh man, that means the world to me, man. I really appreciate it, and I hope that y'all are doing well, and hopefully we can get together, man, whenever this stuff clears up, and we can all.
It clears up. Let's write you a tune, man.
What's that?
When it clears up, let's write you a tune.
Hey man, hey, this has been a great way for me to get co-writes, man. I've got.
I heard you talking about Steve.
Yeah.
Up, man.
Let's great, man. We got them coming up, man. So I would be honored, man. I would love to.
Right on. I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
I got one question. I think we might cause riots wherever people are at if we don't go out on some old enough to know better.
Oh man, yeah. Well, the one that brought me to the party. All right, we'll play you out on that.
Man, I appreciate it.
All right, bro. Neon lights draw me like a to flame. All the rays may ride, majesties may plain. When I get a little sideways on Honky Tonk stairs, I'm old enough to know better, I still tell you I don't care. Cowgirls with an attitude, boots and tight blue jeans. Take my mind off doing right and doing other things. When the weekend's gone, I won't have time to spare. I'm old enough to know better, but I'm still telling you I don't care. Monday morning, I wake up with a hammer in my hand. Boss man yelling something at me that I don't understand. I don't know how I got to work, but I sure know I'm there. I'm old enough to know better, but I'm still telling you I don't care. When the eagle flies on Friday, well, he back here and leaves the ground. I got just enough left to get dressed up and head back to town. Boss says, son, have fun, won't get you anywhere. I'm old enough to know better, I'm still telling you I don't care. Monday morning, I wake up with a hammer in my hand. The boss man yelling something at me that I don't understand. I don't know how I got to work, but I sure know I'm there. I'm old enough to know better, but I'm still telling you I don't care. I'm old Now to know, baby, I'm still too young to care. That's right.
Woo! Yes, sir, man. Thank you so much, Wade. I appreciate your time and thank you for being on here with me, man. Everybody's loving it, and just really means the world to you to take the time to do this.
I loved it. I look forward to seeing you down the road, brother, and thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll be in touch. Thank you, buddy.
Right. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week we got a special guest. I cannot wait for y'all to find out who it is. Been wanting to get this artist on here for a long time, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Tell your friends. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central. Y'all make sure to be here. Hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all for tuning in every Tuesday, y'all. This thing is it's happening. We're becoming a thing. So keep this thing rocking. Thank y'all so much. Great time, y'all. Thank you, Rose. Thank you so much. Y'all be safe out there, and I will see y'all next Tuesday. Love you guys. See you.